Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday. It's August 31st, 2011, and this is Day 9 Daily number 342, where we learn to be a better gamer. And per usual, the main reason I do the daily is to find out...
To O1.
Yeah, I don't remember you from geometry.
To find out that I left my stream open in another window and almost watched a commercial. No, of course, the main reason that I do the daily is to find out that I didn't pay rent. It is August 31st. I need to hurry up and go to the bank tomorrow and pay my rent. That's going to be awesome. A little bit of an interesting twist of events that's coming up today. I am doing a live AMA. An AMA is an Ask Me Anything. I mean, I do the daily, and I need a pen. I need something tactile to fiddle with. Now I have it. Yeah. An AMA, an Ask Me Anything, where basically it's the chance for you wonderful community folk to actually learn who the hell I am and what types of things I think about. And you can ask me stuff. There's going to be a variety of ways we'll be drawing questions from the Reddit thread, from the live chat, via Twitter, etc. Just have a nice little fun, chatty time. The main motivation for this is the fact that my ISP, for some reason, is not giving me sufficient bandwidth to stream StarCraft, but my face is small enough that it can fit through the internet. Just safe and sound. So I wanted to begin the AMA by making a little bit of an announcement of something I think I should have done a long time ago. I'm taking next week off, and I'm actually going to try to make myself do it, which is surprisingly difficult, but I'm starting to realize that my schedule's actually too insane for a human being to do and to not die. Because I was doing the daily every night, right? So that's like 7 p.m. I'm doing the daily, Sunday through Thursday. And generally when I'd be gone, I'd pre-record something. To do a daily takes about 4 to 5 hours of prep work per daily. Fun Day Mondays, I need generally about 7, because there's a lot of things to go through. Newbie Tuesdays, about 6 or 7. So basically, I would eat lunch and immediately begin preparing for the daily, and then do the daily. So Mondays are just like totally out. Tuesdays, that's when I drive down to Santa Monica to do the GeForce Pro-Am with Husky, which is awesome, but it means I need to pre-prepare Thursdays daily. I was also doing the After Hours Gaming League after the cast on Wednesday night, and doing the State of the Game on Tuesday, and generally getting on an airplane to go do an event on Thursday night after the daily was done, and after I'd done the GeForce games. And then I'd do the tournament all weekend, and my flight would generally land midday Monday, so I'd sprint back home to re-prepare for Fun Day Monday. So that means that it's like Tuesday and Wednesday, there's some free time for me to do things. And that's when a lot of the project development would happen, like the After Hours Gaming League, that sort of stuff, where I have that fun talking. And I was realizing that I think for like over a year, I've been doing like 120 hours a week with no days off. So I was thinking that maybe it might be a good idea to take a day off. So yeah! It only took total physical and mental collapse for it to happen. So for the 3rd of September to the 11th of September, I'm not actually going to do any shows. Yeah, no dailies. Yeah, the 3rd to the 11th. Yeah, alright guys, I did it. I'm going to take a break. I was going fucking crazy. Let me actually just say that this AMA is going to be a mix of AMA and a mix of me just rambling stories. I was having like a fucking meltdown at like MLG Raleigh. Oh my god, like you heard me say thanks to like Husky in maybe last night's State of the Game. You don't know how much that guy helps. Holy god, you have no idea how much Husky helps, right? Because basically like that week, it was like the After Hours Gaming Week was like the week before, like trying to like make sure that all went smoothly. So it's like, oh come on, because it's actually my production, like totally. So if anything goes wrong, it's me that messed up. Oh, I didn't want to do anything wrong, right? So I got out of that and it was like, oh, it didn't detonate. I didn't accidentally burn down Facebook, because Facebook was like unbelievably nice and helpful throughout the whole thing. And the last thing I wanted to do was, like, welcome to Facebook. We don't have a show, but Facebook's cool. I didn't want to do that. Oh god, it went terrible. So at like MLG Raleigh, I kept like, drinking the energy drinks because I was running low on sleep. Like, come on, let's do this. And I would go to bed. And I don't know if you've ever had these merge nightmares where like 4 things that bother you combine into a super thing. And like you can't Like, I'd be in the middle of the night and I'd be like, oh my god, I'm gonna be late for a cast and a tornado's gonna kill me. Because when I was young, I used to have a fear of tornadoes. And like, a lot of times when I have bad dreams, there's like tornadoes playing the cameo appearance in them. But like, I'd be like, Husky, we're late for a cast and we need to get to a bomb shelter. And he's like, no, it's 3 a.m. and you should go back to bed. And I'd be like, oh, I guess everything's fine, right? Like, so I had a couple of nightmares of casting the wrong game with no pants and bugs crawling on me, right? This is the sort of merge nightmare things that happen. So I made it through the other side because Mike is really awesome and nice. And then afterwards I was like, I need a break. Oh, also when I couldn't do the daily last week, that alarmed me, right? That just like flipped me out, the fact that I couldn't do it, because it actually basically is my favorite part of the day. Just blurbling on, because it's like, okay, I'm not answering my phone, I'm not going to check my email, I'm only thinking about basically my favorite thing to do, which is StarCraft, and everyone in the chat's like Superman or nice and shit, so that's always like really, really bejugular. So now this brings us to the AMA portion, where I start taking some questions from Reddit, looking at some of dat upvoted ones. So let's go ahead and begin with one near the top. There's going to be some that I'm skipping. Like, for instance, let me actually take the first one, who someone said, would you be interested in doing a battle of the casters? You know, where, like, the casters end up playing. There's a lot, like, that is less a question and more of an idea. And I have no idea. I mean, all I know is that I can only mentally handle thinking, I'm going to do a break next week. That's what I'm going to be doing, right? So people, of course, generally do have really great ideas. Like, there was a suggestion to go play Amnesia, and I'm probably going to end up doing that. It's just like a time thing at this point, but I really like that idea and want to do it. So at the very least, yeah, watching me play Amnesia. And I'm a boss in scary games. Let me just say. Scary movies, I can't handle it at all. Scary games, excuse me, I can handle scary games like nothing. And it's actually an interesting example of narrative that works well in linear medium that doesn't work well in an interactive medium. So, like, for instance, take the following scenario. There's a man who's evil, and he lives in a castle, and he's wealthy, because as in every universe, the more evil you are, the more money you have for some reason. He's sitting in his evil fucking castle with one of these mustaches that does this, and he's like wisping it while sharing his evil plans with a servant who probably is just hired to listen to his evil plans. And he's like, bring me the boy that is in the prophecy. Tell him there shall be a banquet, and when he comes we will kill him with stabbing. And he's like, oh, he's so evil. And the little servant, right away, sir. He always has sort of a gruff, raspy voice, letting you know that he's a social exile, but he's in a position of pure evil. And then they go to the boy who's been invited up, who's the prophecy, who's going to bring down the evil, rich, wealthy man. And that what they say to this person is, the king has invited you to a royal banquet. And he's like, oh my God, I'm a poor little boy and I've never had such opportunity. And you as the viewer have that moment of tension where you think, but is the boy really going to do it? And things keep coming up that are kind of convincing him. He's kind of on the fence. And you're like, don't go, you'll be killed with stabbing. Now, in a movie that works because you don't actually know what he's going to do. But what I'm describing is kind of the start of Fable 2, where you're invited to the castle. And there's no tension in that interactive setting because you know exactly what the boy's going to do. It's you. You're choosing everything he's doing. And to be honest, you're not going to just wander around the town and talk to the same 4 NPCs over and over again. You're just going to go to the castle and you know it, and there you go. And I've always sort of, like, felt this way whenever I was playing like a scary game. Like I was playing like Dead Space and it's just like, blah, like guys come out and I'm like, piece of fucking shit. I was in the middle trying to read some chat logs. My brother though, he loves scary games and he turns out the lights and like waits until it's 3 a.m. to play, so it's like ultra scary. And I don't know, it never really flipped me out that much, but maybe Amnesia will do that. Maybe it will. It's pretty terrifying. And I might just get in the mood. I don't know. Here's a question from Gilligan156, who says, have you ever considered doing a Welcome to StarCraft special for all our friends, girlfriends, wives, family that are interested? You know, definitely. This is an idea that I'm really interested in doing. I'm kind of trying to figure out a way in my life right now to rearrange time a little bit more, so that way when there's an idea like that, I can be like, cool, allow me to begin doing that and try to figure that out. But I think that that's something that's really important for as a resource for people to be able to be like, hey, dear girlfriend, you're so hot, but you don't play video games. So tune into this. Or here's an esports recipe. Here's some esports cupcakes that upon eating you will root for Marine King Prime and feel a lot like those cupcakes are the second best that you've ever had. How sad. Something like that. But until that point in time, I would just suggest, if you'd be so kind as to be adamant and be really passionate, just share your joy. Be joyful. Never be defensive. Ever. Never, never be defensive, please. That, I think, is the worst thing in the whole known universe. When, someone's like, I think StarCraft is for losers. And you're like, what? Excuse me? Do I look like a loser? And all of a sudden you're talking about whether you're going to succeed in life instead of about how kick-ass StarCraft is. So, yeah. Yeah, let's open up some more. So, Afterthought says, do you believe in the so-called esports bubble that DJ Wheat talked about on Weapon of Choice a few weeks ago? That is, do you think people are investing a ton of money and expecting the same kind of growth that the esports scene has had in the past year? And is this growth sustainable? First off, let me talk a little bit about good ways to break your neck on camera. Oh, I hope that that's coming up via the... I really hope that that's coming up through that there microphone. So Weed has been in the community for like a million billion years. In particular, he was there in the early 2000s when people were doing that same sort of, oh my god, is this actually going to happen? Is this actually going to work and grow and become something special? And it sort of went, and you had a lot of crashes like CXG and CGS and that sort of thing. I think that there probably will be something bubble-like with StarCraft 2. Because I think that there are people, quite frankly, who just don't get numbers. If you see something like 200% growth from month to month to month, there will be someone who says, well, my god, by the end of 2012, that means the entire population of the world will be tuning into StarCraft daily as their only source of entertainment. And that obviously can't happen. So I think we're going to kind of see this jagged, sort of sawtooth style. But I think the important thing is that there's like two kinds of people in my eyes. There's the people who are going, oh, well, that's interesting, let me just jump in and do that. Maybe someone who's saying, hey, I'm a company with $20 and I want to advertise what works. StarCraft? Here's $20, StarCraft, go away. But then there are other people, like organizations like MLG, or even I like to think that maybe I do this sort of thing, that are trying to create things to make it grow. And because there's enough people who are doing that, I am not that worried about the esports condition. I think that we'll see this sort of as it takes leaps forwards and then sort of maybe overstretch its bounds and pulls back. But because there's literally so many hundreds of thousands of people pushing in the same direction, then yeah, that's totally freaking awesome. So yeah, I feel really good about that. I feel pretty darn good. Here's a question from Twizzer. How is your mom following the scene nowadays? Since she has two boys and we're so supportive as you described in your 100th episode, I'm wondering how she's doing. Well, like my mom actually, like, she doesn't follow it as, I would or something, where I watch like 40 games per day of players and I know a lot of styles. But she definitely knows kind of all the players from a different perspective, because it's interesting, because my brother and I, let me go get my pencil. I can't focus unless I have something I'm just like messing around with in my hands. We'd come in from tournaments and be like, oh, I had to play against this guy, or oh, mom, is there any chance, like, instead of flying out to, college on this date, I can fly out 2 weeks earlier because I'm going to land with Froz to practice for WCG. She'd be like, oh, Froz, of course, So she has a real personal connection. So when she hears something, like Liquid Tyler does well, she just gets really, really pumped. because it's just this person who she's like sort of grew up hearing a lot about. And of course she'll tune into the cast because she's awesome! Because my mom's awesome! You know, so that's always really fun when I'm like, Mom, I'm going to do the finals, and I'm stressed. And she's like, you're going to do great, I'm watching, go Sean. And I'll say a joke and feel my phone go boot, and I'm like, yeah, there's like, I can feel the support. Like, those people texting me. Which actually happened to me during, like right before MLG Raleigh, there was a kind individual who shall remain nameless who said, any joke you say during the cast, I will text you ha 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 ha, and you will feel it on your phone, and that way you'll know that you are funny. And I just felt, boop, 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 and my phone vibrates loud. I don't know if it's something about my case, but it's just boop, boop. Like, Husky, keep going, keep going. So that was really awesome. So my mom kind of kicks ass. I will say, I think her favorite player though is still XDS Gur. I kid you not. My mother still brings up XDS Gur. XDS Gal. Here's a question from Coons. How often do you get recognized on the streets? Is it flattering or an awkward situation for you personally? First of all, I like your use of on the streets. Like I'm just out on the town at 2 in the morning, just like, I got a cast tomorrow. It's like a film noir thing, you know? I met a lady. She didn't seem too trustworthy, but she was a quite fine specimen. Trumpets playing in the background, all color desaturated. No, I spend most of my time in this chair, looking at this computer screen. Weirdly enough, most times when I go out, I get recognized, which is weird. Like, pretty much almost every time. I mean, if I, like, go down the street to the Ralph's or, like, you know, McDonald's drive-thru or something like that, you know, it's not like, would you like supersized fries? And are you day 9? That, like, doesn't happen. But, you know, like, for instance, I go to Japantown a lot, and to Koreatown, and to Santa Monica, and it happens pretty alarmingly regularly, which is weird. Like, I'm never going to get used to it, ever. Never will I get used to it. Because, like, I spend my time right here, largely. Like, I was watching the GOM TV matches this morning. Doesn't that sound like what you were doing? I was also very excited because I've been reading a recent Dresden Files book, so I'm thinking maybe after this AMA I'll go read the Dresden Files. Something like that. Netflix. Ooh, what TV show are you watching on Netflix? I was watching Let Me In today, right? Like, I have these hobbies that I've kind of always had before, and I associate myself largely with those interests. That's what I really get about myself more than anything, right? So whenever someone comes up and recognizes me, I'm always like, oh my god, hi, hello. And the nice thing is that, like, it's never actually very awkward because people are just really nice. They'll just be like, oh, hi, you know, sorry to bother you, but are you day 9? And we'll chat for maybe like a minute, and they're like, okay, well, I don't want to bother you, but it was really great meeting you. And I'm like, well, hey, you too. And then there you go, and that's it. That was the entire interaction. So that's one thing that's very, very nice consistently about the StarCraft community. They're just not ever weird, ever. They're very, very nice, normal, calm, cool people. And as I say that, I crashed my browser. So I'm just going to calmly reopen that. Let's take another one. There was some complicated questions, and I can't think very well. That's, like, too hard. T Jaws says, Mr. 9, how has becoming E-famous affected your life? Meaning, like, how people that knew Champlot before he was day 9. Was it something you had ever thought possible from just starting the daily? I guess I just honestly don't really consider myself an E-famous person. I mean, the numbers are there, I guess, but I don't feel it. You know what I mean? Like, let's say that this AMA gets 40,000 concurrent viewers, which it doesn't have. You guys need to hurry up and get on that. But let's say for a moment it gets 40,000 viewers. Doesn't affect me. I'm gonna read my book when I'm done, and my book's gonna rule. You know, I don't know. I don't actually do that much different. I mean, the one thing that has definitely happened to an extreme degree is that I've ended up being very, very low on time. which kind of stinks. You never realize how unbelievably nice it is to just be like, I'm just going to sit on my bed and just sit there. It's awesome. I'm just going to do some bed sitting because I'm in the mood for that. Like, that's not a luxury that I really have lately. But next week I will. I'm going to play some Bastion. Still haven't finished that game. So that's probably the biggest thing that has really affected me. You know, there was another thing that's actually, I think is probably pretty significant, where, have you guys ever done this? That like, you'll have a bad day, and you'll post something on your Facebook, like, today sucks and everything sucks. Something that is so negative, you know, expect the worst so you'll never be disappointed. Something that's just like, ugh, like people reading, they're like, what a boner kill, wow. I would occasionally, like maybe within the first, probably from episodes 20 to 80 in that range, I'd had a couple of stressful days, and I wanted to post something like, everything sucks, what a terrible day, I'm miserable, and I was just like, no, I don't want to do that, I don't want to unleash the negativity on these people who just watch the daily, and that doesn't seem very nice, and that actually sort of made me feel a little more comfortable, because I wouldn't post it, and then 20 minutes would pass, and I'd feel fine, and I'd be like, wow, I could have posted that negative thing, and that would have extended my dwelling upon it. And now I'm not. And now I just feel happier. And that was cool that happened. And it's kind of also really nice. Like, every night before a show, I always have that feeling of, well, at least you get to do the show. That's really fun. At least you get to do this stuff, so that's going to be really awesome. And I'm like programmed now to just really enjoy that, and it's awesome now. Because I feel like I have like control over my mental state, like always, which is pretty sick. So let's see here. Oh no! Someone's asking me a question about girls. Let us do it. Alright. From Eras. Dear Day9, parentheses, the Thought Hammer. I am sure your popularity and good looks give you a large female following. But you are consistently complaining about lady troubles on your show. I have wondered this for a while. Is it just awkward and weird to consider dating a fan? Or do you have other reasons/things going on? Damn it. Alright, let's break this into a couple portions, right? I'm always complaining about my lady troubles on the show. As just a general psychological condition of mine, I am not ever really comfortable sharing accomplishments. I've forced myself to get better about this in the past. Like, I actually, like, just grab Tristan, even though he lives in another state. I grab him, like, Tristan, I did really good on a cast today. You know, I'm, like, trying to actually do that more. But in general, I don't really feel comfortable being like, I'm awesome, I'm amazing. I'm amazing at the things that I do. I sat down and played a song on the piano, and within 20 minutes, it was the best that the people around had ever heard. And I also have an Olympic gold medal. Hi, I'm Sean. You know, I don't ever like, I feel weird. But I feel really comfortable sharing my failures. Oh, every failure I've ever had feels funny, right? That's kind of like almost my way of coping with it, is to just try to make it funny. Like, I still remembered when I got a 2 on the French AP exam, and it was really stressful because, fuck, I didn't speak French. I'm taking the French AP exam. This is terrible, right? Like, that seems like it should be a basic requirement for doing the French AP exam, but I didn't actually speak any French. And then I went into the exam, and it was me and this other kid. And there's this part where you have to bring in a cassette tape. All right? You know what I'm referring to? A cassette tape. It actually looks like a deck of cards. And I had to put this in a cassette tape recorder with a microphone. This is a microphone, by the way. I'm propping a microphone. So I have my microphone here. I'm getting ready for my French AP exam. And I start trying to respond to what they're saying, because you have to record your voice, and Neil is repeating everything I'm saying into his voice box. But they ask the questions in different orders, so they're asking, what are you going to do on the airplane? And I'm like, I will order peanuts and vomit on the airplane. And Neil, who's answering a question about what would you do when on the first day you took your children to school, and he's like, well, I would eat peanuts and vomit on the airplane. And I'm like, Neil, stop repeating after me, right? It was stressful. And when I got out, I thought that was probably the funniest thing that I'd ever heard in my life. So in regards to the Lady Troubles thing, I think that those are some of the greatest stories ever, because they're like total miserable failure type things. So that's kind of why people have heard about those. On the honest dating front, I don't meet any girls, really. And I don't feel the need to, really. I kind of really enjoy, like, where I am. If something comes along, I'm not going to, like, get out of here, I'm day 9, I have a shirt with my name on it. Do you have a shirt with your name on it? You're a bitch. I'm not going to do that. But, I'm not who I was when I was young, which was the Terminator. That is definitely how I would describe myself. By the way, someone sounds like it's the Echo. Am I getting an Echo gamer? Echo? I guess it was someone else. Sorry, never mind. But when I was young, I was the Terminator. I would wake up and be like, well, gee, I don't seem to have a crush. We gotta fix that, right? So I would like have the yearbook from last year, and I'd be looking at schools like, who is. This is a little bit of an exaggeration, but kind of not, right? Kind of not, right? Who can I have a crush on? And then I would meet a girl who would interact with me for 4 minutes, and I would like 60% of it, and be like, don't you worry, I'm going to fill in all the blanks myself to perceive you as awesome. Yes! Yeah! And I'd be like, and she must be nice, and she must enjoy talking about feelings, and I bet you she's really smart, and I am absolutely positive that she shares interests and loves the same kind of music. And then, oh God, how my innocence has been shattered before. How my I know that you've done this. I know that all of you have done this, guys and girls alike, where you pump up someone in their head, or in your head, and then they say the thing that just shatters it. They shatter it, like chill. You'll be like, hey baby, why don't you come over to my house? I'll be playing a game of StarCraft. Let yourself in. You're trying to set it up so she like lets herself in the house, and what does she hear upstairs? Click, 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 clatter, 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 click, 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 and she comes up. She goes up the staircase and sees and just goes, oh, he's playing so fast that I'm impressed. No, that's not what happens. You take your headphones off, turn around, she's like, so you just click a lot? Is it a game about just clicking as fast as you can? Is that what you're trying to do in that game? I don't really get it. Is that just like what you do? I apologize, dear Felicity, but that is strictly not what you do in this game. Ugh! And the reason I say that I was the Terminator when I was younger dating is because I would enter a room and just be like, and I'd scan the room and one girl would show up red, and I'd be like, her. That is the one that I am going for. So that was. I've since departed from that process, I guess I would say. So, is it awkward and weird to consider dating a fan? Yes. Whoa. Because Sean is quite different from day 9. Sean I would describe as a lot quieter and a lot funnier. And not as off the walls as day 9. I'm obviously day 9, alright? I'm not like a crazy person here. But I want mutual respect and admiration. I don't want to be like, yeah, baby, and then guess what I casted? And then guess what I casted? And she's like, oh, swoon! Like, I want that equality. I don't want the one-wayedness. That's not very comfortable for me. But, in exciting news, I'm super single. And I'll be watching Netflix after this. So I hope that answers. I hope that answers the question. Hope that answers the question. Dat swoon. Yes, chat. Yes, dear chat. Dat swoon. You know what? I'm actually really thirsty. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and when I come back, we'll just keep AMAing. Hope you've enjoyed part 1, you guys. Hope you have enjoyed it. I will be right back. I'll be right back.